There's a 5-second test you can do right now, with nothing but your own hand, that researchers say predicts how long you're likely to live more accurately than your blood pressure reading. It's called grip strength, and it's quietly become one of the most studied health markers in aging research. One massive study following nearly 140,000 people across 17 countries found that how hard someone could squeeze was a stronger predictor of death from any cause than their blood pressure. That's a remarkable claim, and today I'm going to walk you through exactly why this simple test carries so much weight, what a healthy grip strength looks like for your age and sex, how to test yourself right now using your own hand, and exactly how to improve your number if it's lower than it should be. Welcome back to Healthy After 60. If you're new here, this channel breaks down real, research-backed information to help you protect your health and independence after 60. Before we go further, a quick but important clarification. Grip strength doesn't cause longevity, and a single low reading isn't a diagnosis of anything. What it does is reflect something deeper happening throughout your body, your overall muscle mass, your nervous system's signaling ability, and in many cases, underlying inflammation or nutritional status. Think of it less like a verdict and more like a smoke detector. It doesn't start the fire, but it's remarkably good at telling you something's worth paying attention to elsewhere in the house. With that framing in mind, let's look at what the science actually shows, starting with how this research even got started. Why scientists take this so seriously. Grip strength research goes back to the 1980s, but it really gained mainstream attention after a landmark study published in The Lancet that followed more than 139,000 people across 17 countries, spanning a wide range of income levels and healthcare systems. That study found grip strength predicted all-cause mortality more strongly than systolic blood pressure, a measurement doctors have relied on for generations to assess cardiovascular risk. Since then, the evidence has only piled up. Researchers have conducted multiple meta-analyses, studies that combine the results of dozens of other studies into one pooled estimate, specifically looking at grip strength and death risk. One meta-analysis combining 22 separate studies found a clearly elevated mortality risk associated with weaker grip strength. A more recent meta-analysis pooling 40 studies found that for every 5 kg reduction in grip strength, mortality risk increased in a measurable, consistent way across the studies reviewed. Yet another meta-analysis combining 33 studies found that people with higher grip strength had roughly a 30% lower risk of death compared to those with weaker grip strength, even after researchers statistically adjusted for other health factors like age, smoking, and existing illness. This pattern hasn't just shown up in one country or one population, which is part of why researchers take it so seriously. Large studies have found the same association in Japan, the United Kingdom, Denmark, Norway, the Netherlands, Switzerland, Korea, Russia, Taiwan, and the United States, among others. A US-based analysis using National Health Survey data found the connection between low grip strength and mortality risk was actually stronger in adults over 70 than in adults under 60, suggesting this marker becomes even more meaningful as we age. It's not only overall mortality, either. Some of this research has looked specifically at cause-specific death risk, and grip strength has shown up as a predictor of cardiovascular mortality in particular, with at least one large study finding this connection was strongest in men. Other research has connected lower grip strength to higher hospitalization risk among older adults dealing with multiple chronic conditions like diabetes and heart disease together, sometimes called cardiometabolic multimorbidity, meaning this single measurement may help flag who's at higher risk of a hospital stay, not just a statistical risk down the road. It's also worth knowing how grip strength compares to other simple physical measurements researchers use. A study using a large US national survey of adults 66 and older looked at both grip strength and gait speed, essentially how fast someone walks, together, and found that combining the two gave doctors a more accurate picture of hospitalization risk than either measurement alone, particularly for older adults managing multiple chronic conditions at once. That's a useful detail, because it tells us grip strength isn't a lone, isolated number competing with other health markers. It's one piece of a small handful of simple physical tests, including walking speed and the ability to rise from a chair, that together paint a remarkably accurate picture of someone's overall resilience and risk level, often more accurately than blood work alone. What's particularly striking to me is a study from the Newcastle 85+ study in the UK, which followed adults 85 and older for nearly a decade. Even in this very old age group, higher grip strength at the start of the study predicted better survival. And here's the detail that stood out most: it wasn't just the starting number that mattered. People whose grip strength kept declining over 5 years had a meaningfully higher mortality risk with every additional kilogram lost per year, 16% higher risk per kilogram in men, and 33% higher in women. Meanwhile, those whose grip strength actually increased over time had a notably lower risk, regardless of where they started. In other words, the trend matters just as much as the starting point, which is genuinely encouraging, because it means this isn't fixed or set in stone. Why grip strength reflects your whole body, not just your hand. You might be wondering why something as specific as hand squeezing strength would connect to something as broad as lifespan. The honest answer is that grip strength isn't really about your hand at all. It's a convenient, easy to measure window into your entire musculoskeletal and nervous system. Producing a strong grip requires healthy muscle tissue throughout your hand and forearm, efficient nerve signaling traveling from your brain down through your spinal cord and into those muscles, and adequate nutrition to maintain and repair that muscle over time. When any of those systems start to decline, whether from general muscle loss, nerve changes, chronic inflammation, or poor nutrition, grip strength tends to decline right along with them, often before more obvious symptoms appear elsewhere in the body. This is also why grip strength is one of the core measurements used in diagnosing sarcopenia, the clinical term for age-related muscle loss. Under widely used clinical guidelines, a grip strength below 27 kg in men or below 16 kg in women is used as a screening cutoff that suggests further evaluation for sarcopenia may be warranted. It's not a diagnosis on its own, but it's a meaningful flag that something deserves a closer look. Researchers also describe grip strength as a marker of what's sometimes called physiological reserve, essentially, how much buffer your body has to handle illness, injury, or stress. Two people can look equally healthy on the surface, but the one with greater physiological reserve, often reflected in stronger grip strength, tends to bounce back faster from a hospital stay, a fall, or a surgery. That resilience factor is part of why this one measurement keeps showing up as meaningful across so many different health outcomes, not just death risk specifically, but also disability risk, fall risk, and recovery time after illness. This connection to falls and disability is worth sitting with for a moment, because it's arguably more relevant to daily life than the mortality statistics themselves. Researchers studying disabled older women found that grip strength helped explain part of the relationship between general frailty and mortality risk, suggesting that maintaining hand and forearm strength may be one of several practical levers that genuinely support staying mobile and independent, not just a number that happens to correlate with longer life on a spreadsheet somewhere. Test your own grip strength right now. Let's make this practical. Here's how you can get a real sense of where you stand, and what the numbers actually mean for someone your age. The most accurate way to test grip strength is with a hand dynamometer, an inexpensive device you can find online for around $20 to $30. To use one properly, sit or stand with your elbow bent at roughly a 90-degree angle, hold the dynamometer with the base resting against the heel of your hand and the handle across your fingers, then squeeze as hard as you comfortably can for a few seconds. Do this 3 times on each hand, resting briefly between squeezes, and take the average of your 3 readings. That's your number for that hand. If you don't have a dynamometer, you can still get a general sense of your hand strength by paying attention to everyday tasks: how easily you open a tight jar lid, wring out a wet towel, turn a stiff key in a lock, or carry grocery bags using your fingers rather than looping them over your forearm. These aren't precise measurements, but a noticeable, ongoing decline in how easily you handle these tasks is itself a meaningful signal worth paying attention to. So what counts as a healthy number? Grip strength naturally peaks somewhere in your late 20s to late 30s, then gradually declines from there, roughly 1 to 3% per year after age 30, with the decline tending to speed up in later decades. According to data compiled by Harvard Health, normal grip strength for men in their 60s generally falls between 28 and 48 kilograms, dropping to roughly 21 to 35 kilograms for men 70 and older. For women, healthy ranges in later life typically fall in the high teens to low 20s of kilograms, with population averages for older women landing around 13 to 25 kilograms depending on the specific age band. Keep in mind these are general population reference ranges, not strict pass or fail cutoffs. Your own trend over time matters more than matching an exact number on a chart. One more detail worth knowing: it's completely normal for your dominant hand to test 5 to 10% stronger than your non-dominant hand. But if you notice a much bigger gap than that between your two hands, something like 20% or more, that can sometimes point to a localized issue like nerve compression, a tendon problem, or a joint issue worth mentioning to your doctor, rather than a general aging pattern affecting your whole body. The single most useful thing you can do isn't comparing yourself to a chart once and moving on. It's testing yourself every 3 to 6 months, under similar conditions, same time of day, similar warm-up, similar position, and watching the trend over time. There's a practical reason for spacing your tests out this way rather than testing weekly. Grip strength changes slowly, over months rather than days, so frequent testing mostly adds noise from normal day-to-day variation rather than a meaningful signal. Testing every few months gives your body enough time to actually show a real change, whether that's improvement from training or a decline worth addressing. A stable or improving number over that time frame is reassuring. A steadily declining one is worth addressing directly, and as we're about to cover, the encouraging news is that grip strength responds well to targeted effort, even later in life. What a low number can also point to before we get to exercises, it's worth knowing that grip strength research extends beyond just predicting mortality broadly. Several studies have found associations between lower grip strength and specific conditions that are worth being aware of. Researchers have linked weaker grip strength to higher rates of diabetes and poorer blood sugar control, to reduced lung function in conditions like COPD, and in some studies, to a higher likelihood of depressive symptoms and cognitive decline, though these particular connections are still being actively researched and aren't as firmly established as the mortality data we covered earlier. One large study even found that combining low grip strength with signs of poor nutrition multiplied the associated mortality risk beyond what either factor showed on its own, suggesting these issues tend to compound each other rather than act independently. None of this means a lower grip strength number automatically means you have one of these conditions. But it does help explain why doctors and researchers increasingly view this simple measurement as a useful, low-cost screening tool. It's quick, free or nearly free, requires no lab work, and tends to flag issues worth a closer look across several different body systems at once. In settings where regular blood work or imaging isn't always accessible or affordable, a measurement this simple, that still carries this much predictive information, is genuinely valuable, which is part of why it's increasingly used in clinics and research studies around the world rather than staying confined to specialty labs. How to actually improve your grip strength. This is the most encouraging part of today's video. Unlike many health markers, grip strength is genuinely trainable, and most people notice measurable improvement within 4 to 8 weeks of consistent practice. Here's a simple progression you can follow. Weeks 1 and 2, build the habit. Start with towel squeezes. Roll up a hand towel, hold one end in each hand, and twist or squeeze it as if wringing out water, holding the tension for several seconds before releasing. Pair this with simple tennis or stress ball squeezes. Squeeze a soft ball as hard as comfortably possible, hold briefly, then release, for 10 to 15 repetitions per hand. Do this routine 3 times this week, focusing on consistency rather than intensity. Weeks 3 and 4, add variety and resistance. Introduce finger extensions, which target a muscle group most grip exercises miss. Wrap a rubber band around your fingers and thumb, then spread your fingers outward against that resistance before relaxing back, for 10 to 15 repetitions. Add thumb to finger presses as well, touching your thumb to each fingertip one at a time, forming a small O shape with each pairing and holding for several seconds. For extra resistance, hold a coin or pen between your thumb and finger as you press. If your stress ball has started feeling easy, progress to a firmer rubber ball or a basic adjustable hand gripper. Weeks 5 through 8, build functional strength. Add the classic rice bucket method. Fill a large container with uncooked rice, plunge your hand in, and repeatedly open and close your fingers against the resistance for 30 to 60 seconds per hand. If your balance and joints comfortably allow it, add the farmer's carry. Hold a moderately weighted object, like a shopping bag or a light dumbbell, in each hand and walk for a short distance, letting your grip do the work of holding on rather than your arms doing the lifting. Throughout all of this, a few safety notes matter. Always warm up your hands first with gentle finger circles or a brief hand massage before starting. Stop immediately if you feel sharp pain rather than normal muscle fatigue, since pain is your body's signal to scale back, not push through. And progress gradually. Rushing into heavier resistance too quickly is one of the most common ways people develop strain injuries instead of steady improvement. If this video was helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Healthy After 60 for more practical, research-backed videos on living well after 60. And if you're looking to support your overall muscle and nutritional health too, check out my ebook, Foods That Support Healthy Aging After 60, linked in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.